Guys, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Today we're gonna get into my Premier League reaction for game week 3. So let's talk about it. This was a crazy Premier League week. There was a lot of good games and I enjoyed it very much. So let's start with the last one we just watched. Manchester United versus Wolves. Man, Wolves, they started this season amazingly. They create so much chances, they create a lot of XG. But their only problem is their end product is lacking right now, and their finishing. The players are missing a lot of chances. Trincao and Adama Traore, their end product needs to improve if the team needs to win more games. Because right now, I think Neto is injured, and Raul Jimenez is not firing. But the way they played that game was amazing. They should have won that game. Matter of fact, they should have won all 3 games this Premier League season. They should have had 9 points, but instead they have 0. And they didn't score. They scored 0 goals from creating almost 5 xG. Bruno Lage. I can tell he's a very good coach because the team is playing amazing. The cohesion between the players is right, and they create chances, a lot of clear cut chances, and defensively they're solid as well. So I think you can never escape your xG. I'm 100% sure in no time they will score goals and they will be winning games. So I think they actually got the right coach. He's very good. And I hope it works for them quickly because this is a results game. If you're not winning, then you're not gonna be in job. So I hope it works for them. Manchester United. All the Manchester United fans that were saying they can win the league, I hope now you understand why you can't win the league. You already should have saw it as a United fan, but I guess people tend to be delusional when it comes to their teams. United, your coach is not good enough. Oli is the problem. This is a world-class team, a world-class squad, but the coach is average. That's the problem. The coach is average. So what tends to happen is no tactics, no understanding. Players are not seeing where they're supposed to be in the pitch. So what happens then is the quality of the players are showing, and that's why they will be winning these games against the smaller teams. And that's why if the quality of the team is very high, you can win games, but then there's no consistency because the coach is not good, and his tactics are not the right tactics for the players to succeed. That game they should have lost. Wolves were a much better team in that game, but Wolves, as we talked about, their just end product is not there, and United took advantage of it. Mason Greenwood, that boy is nice. Mason Greenwood is gonna be a world-class player for sure, because with that kind of movement and that kind of finishing, as a striker, there's no way if you're that good at finishing at 19, you're not gonna be a world class. Because at the end of the day, strikers, their number one thing is scoring goals, and he got that on luck. He knows how to score goals, and right now he's not big enough, for to play striker. But you know what? Like right now, you can play him as an inside forward, and in no time, by the time he's 23, 24 years old, maybe you can move him as a striker, and he's gonna be a world beater for sure. He keeps saving them every day. He started this season very well. He scored in all 3 games at the beginning of the year. And Manchester United, as a United fan, you don't have to be worried too much about this, like tying with Southampton, and you won today against Wolves, but the performance wasn't there. You don't have to worry about it because if you're thinking that you can win a league, you're not gonna win a league. But if we're talking about top 4, that's locked for you. So don't worry about it. All right, guys, let's move to the Liverpool versus Chelsea. The number one thing we need to talk about is the red card, man. because that changed the game for Chelsea. In my opinion, is never a red card. Because if the guy, if he stopped the ball from going inside the net with his hand, it's kind of understandable. That should be a red card and a penalty. But it was an accidental handball because it hit his thigh, and then it bounced to his hand, and it hit his hand. So it should have not been a penalty. No, it should have been a penalty, but it's not a red card, a yellow card at best. And if Chelsea don't get a man sent off, I think they would have won that game because Chelsea is a team that defensively they're A plus plus. Their defense is number one, and when you already one goal down, if you're one goal down to Chelsea, you're done. You're not winning that game. And they were playing much better than Liverpool in the first half before they got the red card, because people are not seeing the game. People like game is not about XG, how much XG you create in the first half or anything like that. Because if you watch Chelsea, the amount of chances they could have created against Liverpool, it was outrageous. The players, the final pass wasn't there for the Chelsea players. How many times have I seen players that can put Lukaku through and they're not putting him through? How much times have I seen Lukaku? He could have put Mount through, he didn't put him through, and and that kept happening the whole time in the first half. If Chelsea had the final pass on the day, easily they could have been two up a half, and if they're two up a half, Liverpool have no chance of winning that. But at the end of the day, 1-1 was the score I predicted, and it's a good result for both teams because both teams, the important thing on the day was not to lose, and both of them not losing is a good result for both. But for Liverpool, what caught my eye the most with them is the young man, Harvey Elliott. That boy is gonna be a very, very good player. For the young players, he didn't stand out, but he didn't stand out as like a great player. But for a young player to not stand out for being bad in a big game like this is a plus for Liverpool, because the boy, he didn't look out of place. He didn't look out of place, and he was comfortable on the ball, and he was never fussed. Pass it, move it. Pass it, move it. Yeah, so they got a great player on their hand. But Liverpool, honestly, they just huffed and puffed the whole time, like because Chelsea's defense is too good. They won when they won down to 10 men. They even put more defenders on the field, and they defended deep. So Liverpool had no chance, because Liverpool, their number one thing is counter-attacking and those crosses, the whip crosses. But Chelsea, when they're sitting back, there's no rain behind, and those whipped crosses, Chelsea have big guys in the back. All they were doing, they're happy to clear balls the whole night, So Liverpool, yes, you created more XG, but because Chelsea were 10 men, and that doesn't help you at the end of the day if you don't win the game. So great game. The ref ruined it a bit, and Chelsea fans were complaining about Anthony Taylor. Anyways, they always talk about that he's harsh against them, and if they really feel that way, I think Chelsea should complain about not to get this guy to ref any of their games. Anyways, people, that was a good game. So let's move on to the next one. The next game, Southampton versus Newcastle. That game had a lot of drama at the end. I think Southampton, with the chances they created, should have won, and Newcastle should have won because they were up 2-1 at minute 93. You shouldn't lose a game where you're up 2-1 at minute 93. So Newcastle should have won in that scenario, and Southampton should have won because they created more chances. But I think both teams will take a draw. A 2-2 draw is a fair result for both teams. So I think they both can take it, and it's not that deep. But let's talk about the game. As usual, Newcastle, they depend a lot on Callum Wilson. He scored, very lethal finisher. With Southampton, really, really, what caught my eye is I'm not sure how to say his name, but the left winger of Southampton, he wears number 12, I think. Um, he had a lot of chances to put Southampton up 1, 2, 3, but he missed everything. That guy, I've seen him play for Southampton, I would say like 5 times, and every time I watch him, I'm thinking he's good at dribbling. He has a lot of threat, but his only problem is every time I watch him, he lacks the end product. And it was, like Southampton should have won that game with the amount of chances they created, but their players are not finishing anything, and that's what happens when you lose Danny Ings and you don't have any proven goal scorer. It's going to be a problem. You have a lot of young strikers, and all of them, they're not doing anything at this moment in time. So Southampton, they need to find a way to bury these chances. We said the same thing about Wolves, but I'm not too worried about Wolves. They will get it right, because when Neto is back and Jimenez starts firing, then that problem is not there no more. But for Southampton, I just don't see where the goals come from, because Che Adams, he's a terrible finisher. He underperforms his XG every single season. So I just don't know who's they can depend on to score goals, and that's why I predicted Southampton is gonna get relegated. So they have to find a way to change that. Getting 4 youngsters from Chelsea is not gonna help you stay in the league. So they have to find a way, because getting relegated, it might be the worst thing that ever happened to them. All right. That game was 2-2. Fair result for both teams. And Saint-Maximin, that guy is a problem. He's a problem. Him and Adama Traore, they're a very big problem, because they're very good dribblers, very fast, and they will cause you problem the whole 90 minutes. The whole 90 minutes. So both of them, their end product is kind of not that great, but their threat is enough for you to just be on the back foot, and that's how they help the teams. The Newcastle captain, that was a terrible tackle from him. In minute 93, bro, you make that kind of tackle in the box, you're just not helping your team. And them bearing the penalty was a terrible thing for Newcastle. But hey, I guess they move. And let's move to the worst game of the game week. Arsenal versus Manchester City. I don't understand. I do not understand how a top 6 team plays that bad. Arsenal Football Club had 19% of the possession, had 0 shots on target, and had 1 shot the whole 90 minutes. And guys, did you know that Arsenal had 9% of the possession in the second half? 9. And this manager, he's still in job. Arsenal still didn't sack him. People, all you need to know about Arsenal not being a big club, that's all you need to know. That's it. That's all you need to know. They're not a big club no more. They're not a big club anymore, because if they're a big club, they would have got rid of this guy long time ago. But you know what's going on, people? He's still at a job, and fans are applauding him. Fans are applauding him, people. Arsenal fans were applauding the players and the coach after that game. They should have booed him. They should have said Arteta out through the game. Get him out. But you know what? Mediocre, weak, no backbone, just like the players and the manager. Arsenal fans, you're weak. Weak. All of you weak. No backbone. Finished. Arsenal is finished. The players are finished. Shit. All of them are shit. Xhaka is shit. All of them. Getting a red card, wearing the armband, captain, leadership. What leadership? This man got the most red cards since he's here. He got the most yellow cards since he's here. Rash. And this guy rewarded him with 4-year contract. Arsenal, they just reward failure. Holding, you're a trash center back. Here's 4-year contract. Cedric, you're a shit right back. Here's 4-year contract. Mari, you're a terrible center back. Here's 4-year contract. Xhaka, you're a liability. Here's 4-year contract. They reward failure, man. And how are you supposed to compete with all these teams if you're rewarding failure every single year? Willian, you're a terrible player, but you know what? We're gonna give you 3-year contract. But Willian, I really admire what Willian did. He realized I'm not cut for this. Let me not just take money that I do not deserve. He left the 2-year contract and he went back to Brazil. Shout out to Willian, man. Professional. But people, it's just Arsenal. You see what's going on. Last year they conceded a goal with Sterling header. Sterling is 5 foot. And yesterday their first goal they conceded to Gundogan header. The man is 5'8". And we have the center backs we have are all 6 feet plus. And every year they keep losing headers to under 5'8" players. And the second goal is the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen in my life. 3 Arsenal players on the floor. This boy, what is his name? The striker for Man City. He couldn't believe his luck. He tapped it in, clean. It's just terrible, man. It's terrible football. Arsenal do not attack, and they do not defend. Their defending is terrible, and their attacking is terrible as well. It just doesn't make any sense how a coach had 2 years with this team, and like they did not improve in anything. We can see with Wolves. I was talking about it. Bruno Lage is here for, I would say, a month, and you already can see a difference in the team. Nuno is a defensive team. They were a defensive team under Nuno, and now under Bruno, they're just creating chances for fun. They played against Tottenham and Manchester United, and they out-XG'd them both. And they created more chances than both teams. But under Arteta, no attacking prowess, no defending. Defense is trash. Offensively, we don't create anything. And this man is still at job. Arsenal is sitting 20th. 20th, people. They did not score a single goal in 3 games. And they conceded 9. 9 goals already in 3 games. So you're averaging 3 goals a game. How is he still here, man? You know, like, I already talked about this a lot. And I said, like, if this team needs to change something, they need to change right now, because the other coach will at least have time to do something in this season. But if this guy, if they give him until November, then the season is done. Half of the season is gone by November. And you're not going to have time to change anything. And it just surprised me how bad the Arsenal players were. Where's the passion, man? Where's the fight? Did you see how bad these players, their body language stinks, man? They're all just walking around the pitch doing nothing. But you know, I can't even blame them, bro. I can't even blame them, because if you're playing for a terrible coach, just as a terrible coach as Arteta, you would not be playing good. So I can't even blame them like that. But man, I'm just speechless. I'm speechless. I cannot believe how bad Arsenal are, man. They spend 130 million and they're not even anything better than they were last year. You can't make this up, people. The only team this will be possible for is Arsenal, man. This is not even possible to happen to this to happen to any other team is not even possible outside of Arsenal. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say right now, you know? It just, like, I'm surprised in how bad they were. Like, yesterday was the 10th year anniversary for that 8-2 against Manchester United. People, 10 years. 10 years. What has changed in Arsenal? 10 years ago, we lost 8-2 to Manchester United. 10 years later, we lost 5-0 to Manchester City. What have changed? What have changed, people? Nothing. Arsenal is bad as they were 10 years ago, if not even worse. And you see, at the end of the day, it comes down to the owner, man. No matter how bad the coach is, no matter how bad the players are, it all comes down to who owns it, who owns the business. Because if I own the business, I'll tell you for sure, I'm not gonna put my business under a guy that does not know anything. But he decided to hire Arteta in the first place, and Edu and Vinay, and he's still the one that's keeping them in job. So at the end of the day, all the blame has to go to Kroenke. So for me, Kroenke out, Arteta out, Edu out. Guys, this was my Premier League reaction for game week 3. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell as well. Guys, until next time, peace.